Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. Have you ever seen a pressure cooker explode? I have. Well, yeah, we had one explode. I was invited over to my parents' house, and they were making corned beef and cabbage. This has got to be about, let's say, 10 years ago. I'm guessing. Somewhere in there. So that would put that at about 2010 or so. So I went over there. Now my dad, as I had explained in the previous Old War story, which was entitled Cheaper is More Expensive, when my dad gets a deal on something, he overbuys and then does something with what he overbought. Well, they happen to have corned beef on sale for really cheap, so he got a lot of corned beef. And they have always made it in a pressure cooker. Now, a pressure cooker, in case you're not aware, is sort of like, oh my god, like an Instant Pot. Except it doesn't plug in. You mean you put it on the stove? Like, oh my god, how old? That's what this was. Now, it has all the safety features. There's a lid lock and that, and there's a pressure release valve and all kinds of great stuff that they have today. They've perfected these things. He had this thing probably since the 1970s. So he invites me over, and we go over there, and this is the kind of pressure cooker that has a stem on top. I don't know how to really explain it. And it had this thing that you'd put on it, and as the pressure would increase in there, it would pick this thing up, and this little top would go, and it would turn around like that to release little bits of pressure. It would seal and unseal, and seal and unseal, and seal and unseal. So it would always make that. So I go over there, and I said to my dad, how long till it's going to be ready? Oh, maybe, it should be done in the next 20 minutes or so. I said, Dad, the pressure cooker doesn't sound too good. He says, what do you mean? I said, normally that thing on top is going... It's not doing that. It's sort of like... barely working. So, 10 minutes or so go by, and my dad and I are standing there, and then the thing explodes. Now, it wasn't like you'd see in other YouTube videos. You can YouTube pressure cooker exploding. It's not like that where the lid of the pot flies the fuck off and that and whatever. That's in some commercial kitchen with whatever the deal is there. This is on a stove on an electric burner, and it only is going to get so hot. But still plenty hot enough for what's supposed to happen. Anyways, the thing fucking explodes. The seal that the top forms when it locks on is some sort of like, I want to say rubber or seal or something like that. And it just couldn't handle the pressure, and it gave out. Why? Because there was too much corned beef in there. Oh, I forgot to mention, maybe you ought to check that, Dad. Well, what do you mean? What do you think I should do? I said, take it off, put it in the sink, run cold water on it until the little safety thing goes down and you can open the lid. And he did. And he rearranged the corned beef that was in there. But it was too little too late because he put it back on the stove and it's just instead of doing what it's supposed to, and the fucking thing exploded. Now, when it explodes, it shoots out the contents of what's in there under some pretty good pressure. Steam is coming out of this thing along with whatever corned beef spices, bits of vegetable that got pulverized in this process, sprayed everywhere in the whole kitchen. And my dad is standing around like, what the fuck am I going to do? I said, get the fuck out of here. Just go away. And I cleaned down the walls and all of his cabinets and everything. All because he bought too much corned beef and overloaded the pressure cooker. What happened was there was so much stuff in there that a little piece of the meat or something clogged that little tube that the thing goes on. So it couldn't release the pressure if it wanted to. Anyways, we ended up eating the corned beef as it was done anyway. We're done enough. And it was a whole fucking disaster, and the house stunk of corned beef for the next week. My dad saved the blown pressure cooker. And my dad went down to a place called Barney's Hardware. I don't think they're in business anymore. Barney's Hardware has been in business since like the 1920s. It's one of these old school stores, little mom and pop shop type things. And there it was, hanging on a peg, West Bend pressure cooker seal ring replacement. And he actually bought a new seal for it. Well, he went and put the seal on, and then he put the pot back on the stove, but it turns out the seal failed a little bit late. The pressure was so great, the bottom of the pot had bowed out somewhat. It was not really noticeable until you put it on the burner and it's wiggling all over the place, you know? Or maybe that's how the steel had formed after it had cooled. But he saved this fucking thing and got a new seal for it. Anyway, he finally, safety got the better of him, and he said, I think I'm going to have to buy a new pressure cooker, and he did. And I've never seen that one in operation. I said, is there a reason you couldn't have frozen the other corned beef? Or maybe cooked one and then cooked the other? I mean, the whole idea of a pressure cooker is it's on the stove for much less time than it would normally take just boiling it in a pot of water like I do. Now, I have one of those Instant Pot things, and I'm not going to put my corned beef in there because I don't give a shit about it taking 45 minutes instead of 2 hours and 45 minutes. I don't care having the damn burner on for 2 hours and 45 minutes when it's St. Patrick's Day and it's still kind of chilly in the house. That was a kitchen I did not need to clean, believe me. So he learned his lesson the hard way on that one. I guess at my own expense. I don't know. So yeah, just another great old war story with Uncle Jay. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.